Good morning and welcome back to The Breakfast Show. It is Breakfast with Sunrise.
That's right. Thank you for staying with us. And of course, we're here with you till 9 o'clock this morning. It is Breakfast with Sunrise. We'll be covering a range of topics this morning. As you saw, we just covered the main stories in today's newspapers. Various stories there. And of course, we'd like to hear from you regarding those as well. But right now, what we're asking you is, are we eating food that's maybe too hot for us? Is it too hot to handle? Well, most of us think that we can handle very hot food, but are our bodies actually handling it very well as well? Well, we hit the streets to ask some of you exactly what you thought were the 5 most important ingredients in the basic making of an Indian dish. Let's see what you had to say.
5 basic ingredients are onion, chili, masala powder, turmeric, maybe coriander.
Green chili, masala, garlic, ginger, yeah, coriander, that's it, yeah.
Chilies, turmeric, garam masala, haldi and onions.
Chili, ginger, garlic, onions, cream, that's about it.
Onions, ginger, garlic, haldi, garam masala.
Onion, zira, green chili, and sometimes garlic and coriander seeds, and that's it.
Ginger, garlic, green chilies, probably red chilies. What else? Bus.
Onions, garlic, ginger. And
the black thing, the little black thing. And you put oil in it a little bit as well.
That's pepper, I think. And that's it.
Well, what are those little black things? I'm sure we're going to find out very soon. There you go. Then the first, the main 5 ingredients. That's what we asked of making a the basic sauce for an Indian dish. Now, is it surprising or isn't it surprising that most of you out there believe that chilies actually come in the they mentioned chilies in the first 3, I think, a lot of people. So doesn't surprise me because I do like my food very hot as well. But what we want to know is people like me who like their food very hot, what are we actually doing to ourselves? Is it good for us? I always use that excuse. I say, no, chilies are good for us. You know, lots of vitamin C and all that. I think anyway. But to tell us more on whether we're eating food that's too hot to handle this morning is GP Amit Bhargava.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
Very well. Nice to be here. Took a long time to get here, but I'm here.
Exactly, right. It was a bit of a nightmare on the roads, was it?
It was.
That's our traffic and travel for now. Right, okay, so is chili actually good for us?
It could be. I think it is. When I was in medical college, it was said, this was in India, that chilies were bad for us, especially too much of it. And certain parts of South India, like Andhra Pradesh, if they ate too much chilies and got ulcers. But now we feel that chili could be actually good for you. It's not so much the chili that's bad for us, it's the oil we cook it in.
Right. Oh, really?
It's because if you look at how we cook our food in Asian, put a lot of oil, so that creates a fat in it. But chili itself, you'd think by looking at that chili was Indian spice. It actually isn't. It was used in South America 10,000 years back, and then was taken across the world by the Spanish, and it's become part of our diet. Everybody said chili was a part of our diet, but it's actually very South American. And the uses of it in medicine are huge, from people for arthritis to cancer. There's a research going on for that.
Like we know turmeric, as known as haldi, is quite medically used as well. I mean, we have so many homemade remedies that we use that for.
Absolutely. And if you go to South India, and the ladies in the morning look all yellow, because they put haldi in the night to prevent their skins from getting infections. But that's healthy. But in India, when I was growing up, we used to go to this place. Some of your viewers might know a place in Lucknow called the King of Charts. And I would go with my cousin sister, and she'd eat a lot of chili, and she'd always say, put more chili. And I'm a meat person, so I have sweet stuff. And the reason is, the more chili you eat, it releases a chemical in the brain called endorphins, which makes you feel good. So it also reduces pain. The happy hormone, right? The happy hormone. And so after a while, people get addicted to it. So, you know, the Vindalus and the Madras, the people going to the curry house late at night.
So really chilies have the same effect as, say, chocolate does?
Yes, but healthier.
Right, okay.
And also, what happens with chili is the more you eat, the less painful it gets, because what it does is the first time you put it in your mouth, it gives you a burning sensation.
Yes, it does.
And then you have to eat yogurt or water drink quickly to get rid of that burning sensation. But it goes to the spine and sends off a P factor, pain factor.
Right.
And after a while, you get used to that pain factor. So the more chili you eat, the less painful it gets, and the more endorphins you release. So you can handle it more and enjoy it more.
So your body just tolerates it after a while.
Do you think it makes you lose calories as well?
There is some research.
Because some people sit there eating a really hot dish and they're sweating buckets.
It reduces appetite.
Does it really?
Yeah, it does. Unless you cook it in oil, of course, then you don't lose weight with it. But if you eat it otherwise, it can reduce appetite. So in hot countries, they eat chili because it makes them sweat. I go to for a curry and on my bald head I'm dewy. But in Rajasthan, they eat a lot of chili because it makes you sweat, and then when the breeze blows, it cools you down.
So it really doesn't have any negative effects, not on your liver, not on your kidneys or anything like that?
No,
really?
it doesn't.
But you said, you know, you do get stomach ulcers, some individuals do.
I still believe that, but when I was researching it for this program, I couldn't see any evidence that it showed that it does ulcers. But when we know when I was in medical college that in South India that you had people with more ulcers who ate more chili.
Right.
But it does affect people with problems with the lower bowels. It can affect, especially irritable bowel, it can affect them to be worse.
Okay.
Okay, and what about the masalas? I mean, do you think they have the same kind of effect? I mean, the little black things that one of the ladies was talking about, black pepper, obviously, peppercorns.
Not really. I think it's more flavoursome. Like you said, turmeric is useful for the skin, and it's supposed to be antiseptic. Asafoetida gives you wind. I'm not sure that's good or bad.
Okay.
But otherwise, most of the spices are fairly benign. But it's coming back to, from the medical point of view, how Asians we cook our food is much more important. The oils we use, especially the ghee, and the issues around in Asians, especially around obesity and diabetes and heart disease, is a huge problem for us, as your viewers would know and we all know. And it's a growing problem in the Asian community. So the spice itself might be okay, and chili itself, is lots of research on cancer and diabetes is fine, but it's the way we cook that we really have to worry about, because the way the Asian community is going, we are in a major crisis around diabetes and heart disease.
Because there's always been a stigma, there's always been myths that, you know, you shouldn't really eat too many chilies and stuff, but you can really declare and you can say that is just literally a myth then.
That is a myth. That is a myth. But how much of it and how much food we eat is important. I keep going back to the food because it's not, I think we concentrate on the spice when it's the rest of it that is a problem. And we need to be careful we do that. Good, enjoyable food is great because it makes you happy. It's a good place to have a conversation. You make good decisions and have good relationships.
So that's patients that come and see you, how many patients and suffering from which illnesses would you actually turn around and say, okay, cut down on fatty foods and spices?
The fatty food to almost anybody.
Right.
Because the obesity epidemic in this country is huge. The effects not only on Asians but also on the rest of the communities. But Asians affected more because we carry the problems with diabetes and heart disease. And diabetes, 5 out of 20 people will have diabetes over the age of 50. Right. So if you talk to your relatives, I find each and every one seem to have diabetes.
Somewhere down the line,
And those people with diabetes are 4 times more likely to have a stroke or a heart attack.
Yeah.
So we cannot run away from it, and it's rife in the Asian community. And what we also don't do very well is look after ourselves. So when we get diabetes, we say, oh, we'll have a little bit, it doesn't matter, does it? And so our waistline goes up, and our diabetes gets worse, and we have a problem. And then, as a community, then we react.
Yeah.
That's almost too late. So going on the diabetes
Do you think
bit,
our community does? We're quite. We take, you know, we let the problem occur, we let it manifest and so forth, and then that's when we actually do something about it.
I know, I do
we're
that.
not very. You do? Okay.
And I'm a doctor, and when's the last time I went to my GP to get my blood pressure checked? I get it done at home, but it's, I know, you know what it is.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Amit. And so we can confirm that eating plenty of chilies, and well, not plenty maybe, but you know, in moderation. Hot food is okay for you to eat, of course. As we said, in moderation. That's the thing to remember, I should think. Right, okay, we're going to take a very short break now. Do stay tuned, as we should have very soon with us thoughts from the lovely Ravi Sharma from Kismet Radio, and of course Tony Patty from Sunrise Radio as well. And we'll take a look at what they're up to today. All that and more coming up after the break.